Hello everyone, and welcome to a new and different type of video. Today we're going to be talking about the mysteries of the blood tundra in Feral. Now for those of you who don't know what Feral is, it is an online MMO type of game created by Wildworks, the same company who created Animal Jam, and the blood tundra is an area in the game. Anyway, let us get on with the video. Huge thank you and shout out to Hoopla and freyja Feral on Discord for helping me with the research for this video. And without further ado, let us begin. So before we get into the mysteries of the blood tundra, we first need to know what is the blood tundra. Now according to the Feral wiki, the blood tundra is a place where no one should go, ever, if they can avoid it. The blood tundra is a cold and unforgiving realm, covered in snow and littered with pools and lakes of blood, with bones of long-dead creatures. Small villages rest on the mountainous borders of the land, which slope downwards into a sparse forest of mostly dead black blood tundra shriek trees. The main inhabitants of the tundra are kobolds, but their features are unique and have become changed over time to fit the tundra, better forming a subspecies named blood kobolds, which are distinguished by their red eyes and pale fur. So that's the basic description of what the blood tundra is and what it's about. Now let's get into the juicy, bloody, and mysterious parts of the tundra. The first mystery on our list is the blood tree. It is this giant tree that's blood red and is hollow on the inside. It is surrounded by piles of bones, and you can even see these weird metal plates hanging from the tree branches, which in earlier builds of Feral more resembled collars. It makes you wonder, were creatures hung from this tree? Now, according to the info given to me by Hoopla, the tree is a parasite. It was a magmar tree before it transformed, explaining why it's so big. It's hungry for blood and takes hosts to do deeds for it. The tree is controlling Luca, explaining how they constantly say, "If only you could linger a little bit longer," meaning the tree is taking Luca as its current host. And the tree has hosts in people, plants, and living things. As for the things hanging from the tree, they are her paldrones, basically the armor of the warriors who have fallen near it. During the blood tundra and lakeroot feud, the tree might have caused a curse. So basically, the tree is a parasite that cursed the blood tundra. Now you may think, wait, that's it? But wait, there's more. In one area of the blood tundra, there's this alternate version of the blood tundra theme that plays. It has this siren-like voice singing it, and fans have speculated that this is the blood tree singing. Here, take a listen. So yeah, pretty creepy, and yet mystifying. Also, remember the character named Luca that Hoopla mentioned earlier? Well, there's another NPC named Vesta. Well, she says some pretty creepy stuff, which adds to the theory that she's the host for the tree. You see, there's this daily side quest that she gives you, where you have to capture 5 of these creatures as a sacrifice for the tree. And when you first talk to Vesta, when activating the quest, she says, "Listen, she beckons to you with her bows of beautifully adored with bone talesmen. She requires sacrifice. She demands essence." So yeah, that's definitely freaking creepy as hex. Now let's move on to the next mystery of the tundra. The next mystery on our list is the giant skull. Now this giant skull is called the Wayfarer. It was this giant creature which, according to Hoopla, they're called wayfarers of giant wendigos. Basically, they are known to attack villages. The Wayfarer was friendly and was trying to find a place to live. This was back when the tundra wasn't a tundra. It was like lakeroot before the curse happened. Basically, when the Wayfarer attacked, it aimed for the hot spring, The villagers saw this as a threat and they got somebody to slay it. They stabbed it in the back 2 times. To honor the hero, the villagers built a giant statue of them. Also, there was this little feud between the Blood Tundra and Lakeroot at this time. They used the giant tree as a battleground thing. That's where all the death would happen. Eventually, the tree got tired of the death and cursed the land. Another theory is that the Wayfarer blood inside spilling in the Lakeroot area, turning the water red and planting giant organs everywhere. And the tree cursing the land with ice and snow. Mixing those 2 theories gives us the giant one. The oasis was the only place that was unaffected by the curse. Also, the tree has the power to possess people, so when Viti's cousin went missing in the Blood Tundra, Vesta, the tree, controlled her and she kind of got brainwashed. For the current quest line, Felix, a male orc, finds himself in the tree and asks you to plant blood tree saplings. With this, the tree is possessing Felix. We think the tree is trying to find the oasis and destroy the village. Also, they are possessing Luca, meaning they would gain control of the village, and Luca's famous line, "If only you could linger a bit longer." There are some people who have broken free of the curse, and Castaway, who was Luca's close childhood friend before the curse, and we assume that Luca killed him after that quest. The Castaway also mentions that Luca nearly killed him with their sword. So to recap, the Wayfarer was a peaceful creature, but because of the fear of the inhabitants, the creature was killed. Now that's just sad. Also, the part about the creature's guts and blood being scattered all over the tundra is freaking crazy, like, wow. But don't worry, we'll get into the other parts that Hoopla mentioned later. In fact, that brings us to our next theory. Now in this blood lake, you can see a bunch of wrecked ships, and near said ships you'll come across the harbor with a destroyed village next to it. Now just like Hoopla mentioned, before this village was destroyed by the Wayfarer, which I forgot to mention, when you're in the Wayfarer's area, this creepy, ominous music plays, and it really sends chills down your spine. Like, here, take a listen. So yeah, that sounds like it came straight out of a horror film. Makes you think, like, man, this was made by the same people who made Animal Jam? It's insane how deep this game is. No wonder it's rated 13+. Anyway, back to the Blood Lake. When you're in this area, this mysterious music plays. It's not all that creepy like the rest of the Blood Tundra music. In fact, there are quite a few tracks in this tundra that are not creepy, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, here, have a listen. So yeah, very ominous. Definitely gives me some Halo vibes. By the way, on the pathway to the destroyed village, there's a statue, which is the statue of the hero who slayed the Wayfarer that Hoopla mentioned earlier. And by the way, this pathway leads to our next mystery. Now this village is indeed one of the more peaceful places in the tundra, like Hoopla mentioned. And remember that Luca character that Hoopla mentioned before, apparently the inhabitants of this village are called blood kobolds, and when you go to the village, barely anyone is there. It's like it's abandoned or something. Anyway, according to Hoopla, Ida is the castaway's daughter. She's been here since the cursing and had a rookit dog figure thing named Squall. She tasks him with digging up something, but he never came back. He came back as a ghost in the quest line. Also, during the Blood Tundra and Lakeroot feud, the Lakeroot invaders ate Vetrax. There is only one Vetrax left in the world, and it's Pants. So when Ivor was little, he got Pants as a gift. The tree, Luca's host, is known to banish people for knowing too much about the tree, and they send them into the sandstorm. One kobold had a twinkle friend, and so he made it to the oasis, not knowing it was there. He had water, but he didn't have food. Also, he ate his twinkle friend. So from what I can tell, Luca is the chief of the village, I assume, because, Hoopla mentioned that since Luca is possessed by the tree, then the tree has control over the village. Hoopla also mentioned that the blood kobolds look different because of the curse on the land, and also there's Luca's infamous line, "If only you could linger here a bit longer." It's like the tree is trying to gain control of you, but there's one more thing that the tree is after. Now, in the upper left corner of the map, you'll find a snowstorm, and in the middle of this snowstorm is the oasis. Like Hoopla mentioned, it's the only place in the tundra to not be affected by the curse. Plus, the music that plays here is freaking beautiful. Here, have a listen. So yeah, it's very different from the rest of the eerie music that plays in the tundra. It's very mystical and enchanting, and it gives you a glimpse of what this tundra was like before the curse. It was basically a lot like Lakeroot, like Hoopla mentioned. Also in the oasis there is a tablet next to the waterfall, which reads, "What remains cannot be again. The tundra takes everything back in the end." Now what could this mean? Also, near the oasis you'll find this tombstone, which is the grave of this dead Twinkle. Now according to Hoopla, one kobold had a Twinkle friend, and so he made it to the oasis not knowing it was there. He had water and fruits, but when he ran out, he had to eat his Twinkle friend, making a gravestone for the Twinkle. So yeah, that's very sad. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is that when the war happened, the people of Lakeroot ate the Vetrax. There is only one Vetrax that remains in the village on the mountain. His name is Pants. Very little is known about the war between the Blood Tundra and Lakeroot Valley, so once there's more info on it, I'll probably make a video on it. Also, one last thing to mention. Blood Tree is apparently a portal to the Betwixt. What is the Betwixt, you ask? Well, at the moment, very little is known about it. All we know is that it's like this realm between worlds in Feral. It's not in the game yet, but once it is, I'll explore it and get enough info on it to make a video. Anyway, that's basically all we know about the Blood Tundra this far. Very interesting and deep lore, I love it. It's enough to make a movie out of, which, let's be honest, a movie about the Blood Tundra would be freaking awesome. Like, count me in on that. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's my very first fully edited video, and my first theory/lore/speculation video at that. Let me know if you want me to do more of this in the future. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, I'm out. See ya!